Hi guys, and welcome to the second day of BOOKMAS. The first day I put up a book, like a tag video that I didn't get around to putting up in November, but BOOKMAS, I usually do 12 days of BOOKMAS. It's every other day for 12 BOOKMAS videos. So yeah, welcome to BOOKMAS. This is my November wrap-up, so all the books I read in November, not a lot because of one particular book, and I have it right here. I never finished reading this. It's a 900-page book. I started reading it in November, and the first couple of weeks went by and I was still reading this, and I was like, I haven't read any books, and this book is going really slow, and I just never finished it because I had to put it down at some point. Hopefully I finish it in December. It is 900 pages. I tried starting it, but it's Robert Galbraith's Trouble Blood, aka J.K. Rowling's 5th detective series book. The Corman Strike novels. But the books I did read, I did listen to Here's Looking at You by Mhairi McFarlane. It came out December 5th, a long time ago, 2013. So this book I read simply because I read two of her books this year. What were they? Don't You Forget About Me and If I Never Met You, I think it was. And I adored them. I think I gave them 4.5 and 5-star books. I absolutely loved them. So I went back and read one of her old ones, and the writing style felt so familiar, and I realized kind of partway through it was pretty much a Pride and Prejudice retelling, so I'm here for any of that. So it was a lot of fun. I could tell her writing style has come a long way though. As far as these characters, this is about like a girl who used to be an ugly duckling who just turned out to be a drop-dead gorgeous woman. She lost a ton of weight and learned how to do her hair, I'm guessing, or something like that. And she goes back to a reunion and nobody recognizes her there at all. And some people that were horribly mean, part of and helped, like, not helped, but made her depression worse in high school, were there, and she meets up with them again and they don't recognize her, and so she kind of goes along with it for a little while. I don't know why. I think she just doesn't want to drum up the past in the book. But this book, like, although the writing style was the same and there was a lot of the humor was the same, I just thought there was lulls in this book, and so I think she has gotten better at not having lulls. There was too much kind of like downtime in their own heads thinking space a lot in this book. And also James, like the other main character in this book, kind of got like really boring, and I feel like his thinking was very simplistic and just didn't really grow. And I think she's gotten much better at writing male characters. But yeah, that's just what I thought. It was pretty good. It's not a book I absolutely loved, but I think if I had read it first, I would have noticed that I liked her writing and kind of went on with it because it's good. It's really good. The next one I was so excited for, and it is Tools of Engagement. It's a Hot and Hammered #3 by Tessa Bailey. It came out September 22nd, 2020. It came out here pretty recently. So this is about Bethany Castle. She's one of the castles you've been following in these books, and they're like a family who fixes up houses. In the first book, the girl doesn't want to join the family business. She's like a clown. And then in the second book, it's about one of their friends who's like was in the military, and then this one returns to the Castle family, of course, and it's about the girl who like she stages the houses, but she wants to do her own house. She wants people to take her serious, but she is like very, very like nervous and scared to death of like branching out on her own, and so she does it, but it's just very hard for her the entire book. And then a guy helps her. He's from Texas. He's from out of town. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna, because he has like kind of no preconceived notions of her. So he completely believes in her and builds her up all the time in the books. It was like an enemies, friends, then lovers book. I loved the first two books. I loved the characters in the first two books. I love her writing style. I liked where she was going with this like small town family fixer-up business. Yet there was like a lot of exciting characters on the side, and there was like this huge women's club in the books that they like try to build each other up and try to get each other moving. But this book, I just didn't love the characters. I thought the characters kind of flatlined. You can't connect with every author's characters. These ones seemed very shallow of characters, where the other ones in the first two had a lot more emotional depth. And neither one of them really grew. I think they must have grown before this book and in the other books, but I didn't love getting to know these characters. So it was my least favorite. The other books I loved and I collected, but this one, probably not. The next book I really enjoyed, and it was Well Played by DeLuca. Last year I read Well Met, and I loved the setting of the book. I loved the characters in the book, but I just didn't love the romance. The people's romance, I didn't quite get there for me. But this book, absolutely adored the romance. It was so much fun. It's about a girl who does the fair every single year. She's like in the heart and soul of it. And there's a guy who like goes from Renaissance fair to Renaissance fair. It is his job. It is his career. His family does like this act, and he's like their manager. And he's noticed her all along, and she was actually like with his cousin or something before, and earlier summers passed, and he's always noticed her, but she just never noticed him. And then he came along. It's about kind of a catfish story a bit, because she like emails one of the other cousin or whoever it is related to him, or maybe it's a brother, and says something to him, and this guy's the one that runs the fan page and talks to her back, and then he figures it out that she meant to talk to the other guy, of course, but he just keeps talking to her and never tells her. So that's a huge portion of the story. Like there's a bit of a lull in the middle where it's like they're the romantic couple are not together because she spends her whole year, you know, and then there's only like 6 weeks of the Renaissance fair, and then the Renaissance fair comes back around. But in the end, I loved it so much. I knew I was going to read it, even though I didn't enjoy the first one that much. I knew I was going to read it just because I love the writing, I love the setting, and I love these characters in the end. So really enjoyed this one. I would recommend it. Or if you didn't like the first one, I would recommend trying out this one. It was so much fun to return to the Renaissance fair. This book came out September 22nd, 2020. So it's a pretty new book there. Okay, so this book came out a while ago. So last summer, it's not that long ago. Evie Drake Starts It Over by Linda Holmes. This came out last summer in 2019, and everybody, like a lot of people I see on YouTube, loved it, and so I decided to pick it up. It is about a girl who lives in a small town in Maine with the lobsters, and then a baseball player comes to town. He rents out her like apartment. She's a widow, and everybody thinks she's super sad about being a widow, but she's not really. She was like leaving her husband at the time when her husband dies, and she doesn't know what to do. The only thing I didn't love about this book is, one, she's kind of like a hermit in a small town, because usually you read small town books because there's a lot of fun, huge characters, but this one is like she has a best friend, and that's all you really get to know. And then as well, the couple, I really liked the couple. I liked the romance. I liked the slow pace of the romance. But then in the end, the guy in the book, the baseball player, he never, I don't know, has any like huge declarations to her. I felt like the romance didn't really connect in the end, so I didn't really believe it in the end. So this book just turned out to be okay read for me. It wasn't quite what I was expecting. I did love the writing style. I'll probably read anything from the author that she writes next. I think this might have been a debut novel, and it was well loved. So I liked it. It was okay. Not my favorite romance though. The next one I read simply because I've already seemed to like it, and it was Big Summer by Jennifer Weiner, and it came out May 5th, 2020. This book was like, I just heard about it a lot, and I kept seeing it online, and people really liked it online, and I started reading it knowing nothing about it because I heard the word mystery, so I was like, I don't want to know. And so I started listening to it, and it's just about this girl who is plus size, and she's an influencer in New York City. So for a while there, I was really bored. There's a lot of flashbacks to her and her uppity friend, because her uppity friend just shows up at the very beginning of the book and says, will you be my bridesmaid? And she like hated her friend. Her friend was kind of like really evil to her in the end. And then she just forgives her, and you don't really know why. And it gets kind of boring really fast. And then the mystery occurred, and that's what kept it interesting. So the book was written well. It's very fast paced. I liked it, but then the mystery just kind of fell flat for me. It wasn't much of a shock in the end. It wasn't much of like, it entertained me enough to keep reading, but it was just okay through it all. I didn't love Big Summer. But it's just, yeah, I didn't connect, I guess, with the influencer girl world. It was kind of boring. And there was so much like she was looking into sometimes that just, it wasn't interesting to me to read about. But yeah, those are all the books that I read in November. Not that many. I usually read like 12 books, and I think I read like 5 books. But Hopefully it picks up in December. Hopefully I get through some of these bigger books that have kind of slowed me down. And I will see you guys in the next BOOKMAS. See you guys next time. Bye!